When I heard that Evil Dead director Sam Raimi was set to produce a bottle film starring Scream King Bill Skarsgard, I automatically assumed that the David Yarovesky directed Locked would be a horror film. Now that I've seen this, I can definitely say it is not a horror film, though I can't quite tell you what it is. The film stars Bill Skarsgard as Eddie, a carjacker who breaks into a car, only to realize it's a trap set against him by Anthony Hopkins' William, an old vigilante-esque figure who seeks to teach him a hard lesson about his criminal life. I'm a sucker for a good one-man bottle movie, whether it's 127 Hours, aka the movie where James Franco chops his arm off, or my personal favorite one-man bottle film, Barry. Such films tend to be incredibly focused, tight, and a good showcase for what an actor can do, with no large scale or an ensemble supporting cast to hide behind. In a movie like Buried, this allowed Ryan Reynolds to prove he can convincingly play a role that isn't just a fictionalized, stylized version of his real life persona. You know, the one who sells you aviation gin and manages football teams towards success. Do I wish that Skarsgård, coming hot off the heels of his transformative, terrifying performance in Robert Eggers' Nosferatu, was given something better to do than yet another B-rate English remake of a movie that quite honestly doesn't need it? Absolutely, but I'll take what I can get. And what we get is pretty decent. Locked is a perfectly enjoyable, if forgettable way to spend 90 minutes at the cinema. It's a theater release that would belong right alongside a second screen Netflix movie, one you absent-mindedly watch while cleaning around the house. Sure, it might not fit alongside the recently released Electric State, but it wouldn't be entirely out of place alongside a Bird Box. If I had to characterize this as anything, I would characterize it as a thriller, but more honestly, I would create a new category called Bill Skarsgård acts his chops off. This is his film through and through, and for a movie that lives or dies based on the strength or weakness of its central performance, this movie is in capable hands. His performance does get one note and whiny at times, but considering the grueling circumstances the character is subjected to, it's hard not to feel sympathy for the guy when he's crying for the third time in 20 minutes. It is a performance that manages to simultaneously be grounded and over the top. Sure, there are times where it feels like he is deliberately delivering his audition tape for the DCU's Joker, but when the audition tape is this good, is that necessarily a bad thing? Now, you don't need me to tell you how big of a legend Anthony Hopkins is. The dude has multiple Academy Award nominations and wins under his belt, and even at his ripe old age, he manages to turn in incredibly powerful performances, the best example of this being The Father. That said, he doesn't shy away from popcorn cinema. The guy literally showed up in Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon movies. But while seeing him in those movies feels quite sad, it's genuinely a joy to see him let loose here and deliver a performance that is as fun as it is cunning. It's a two-hander film which places a strong emphasis on the dynamic between Skarsgård and Hopkins, and the two make quite a thrilling pair. Through their relationship, the movie delves into themes of redemption, which I undoubtedly appreciated, but its handling of class themes is incredibly clumsy. It's one of those films that, more often than not, prefers to talk about its themes instead of engaging and exploring them through action. So I give them a B for effort and an E for execution. For a movie set entirely in a car, it was very possible for Locke to become visually stale, but the director manages to keep it fresh and show you as many angles of this particular SUV as is physically possible. With that said, for a movie of this nature, it's pretty easy to become stale, and this movie unfortunately does overstay its welcome. At 1 hour and 35 minutes, it's a pretty short film floating around the runtime of 127 hours and Buried, yet I feel this movie would have been better served with an 80-minute runtime. In its current form, the movie does jump the shark toward the end, with the only saving grace of the final act being the incredible performances. From a craft perspective, the movie leaves quite a lot to be desired. It's not a meaty screenplay, so I would have liked the film to have a cinematographer and a composer who can take an inherently repetitive screenplay and breathe life into it. What we're left with is a perfectly enjoyable, quite forgettable time at the movies. And if this is one you're particularly interested in, I don't think you would miss out on too much by waiting for it to hit DVD or streaming. And for that, I'm giving this one a 6.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for weekly movie and TV reviews. And if you've had the chance to watch Locked, let us know what you thought about it in the comments below. I'm Cinemike, and I'll see you next time.